Welcome to another edition of Whiskey, Games, and Nerd Stuff. Today's whiskey is us continuing to drink High West Old Fashioned pre-made cocktails. This is so good. I've been drinking this for a couple videos, and if you come across this in the liquor store, I would highly recommend this. I'm a little picky when it comes to my old fashions, and I definitely like this. I'm going to go ahead and move the bottle for right now, just so I do not spill it when I go over these cards. Going to go ahead and take a sip. It is so good. Now, I'm going to apologize ahead of time if there's a couple cuts or pauses. I've got cats running around and a 6-year-old who's playing Roblox who's jumping up and down. So we'll see how this goes. Today, I'm going to go through, for those that recognize what this is the first unset, Unglued. So this is a full set of Unglued. And let me go ahead and turn on that camera. So one of the cool things about this set is this was the first unset. Really like this one. One of the coolest things was when you saw the BFM, it was however many mana that is to do the 99, and then you had the Lacquer Locust. So there were some cool cards in this. We'll get to one of my favorites here in a second. So Chaos Confetti was one of my favorite cards. So I actually have is it beta or an alpha Chaos Confetti? I don't remember which one it is. But basically what happened was, so there was a rumor, I still don't know if it was a rumor, true story, or whatnot. So Chaos Orb was a card where if you held it and you dropped it, whatever cards that artifact fell on were destroyed. So nowadays when you play all your lands and your cards, you put them together. So back in the day when Chaos Orb was there, you separate them because of Chaos Confetti. So there's a urban legend, and if anybody knows if this is true or not, I would love to see the actual story, the video of what that was. But so how the story goes, and I'm trying to find the best angle for that camera. I apologize. So the story goes that sorry, this camera is just, the lighting is just throwing me off on there. Let's go ahead and try and fix this. This is what happens when you don't script anything and you just try and run with it live. So one of the things, if you haven't noticed on the videos that I do not, whatever happens that first time stays that first time. It's just one of those things where, I should just live stream all my videos with how I do these, because I don't refilm them, I don't edit them, I don't script them, I just hit the button and go. Which should show the poor quality of my videos and everything else. So back to the story. So the story goes that somebody took their Chaos Orb, ripped it up, and dropped the pieces and scattered those pieces so they would fall on all the cards, and called the judge, and the judge ruled in that player's favor. I still don't know if that's true or not. If it is, it's kind of a cool story. If anybody knows more about that particular story, I would love to hear it. It actually reminds me of a story about a Chaos Orb. So there was a TCG called Rage. So Rage was actually a fun TCG back in, I don't know, I want to say late 90s, early 2000s. And basically Rage was, you were werewolves. The cool thing, though, there was fighting, there was votings. I want to say there was something called like a moot, M-O-O-T, where there was a voting aspect of it. And I remember somebody traded, I was watching the table, that was trading one of the rares for a Chaos Orb. And I remember thinking at the time that I would love to have had been on that trade and get that Chaos Orb. But it makes me wonder, back in the day when a lot of us had no ideas what these cards were worth, none of us played with any kind of sleeves or anything. In fact, I remember a story, and I do not advocate this, but I'm just I'm playing a story that I heard that there was a group of friends that used to play poker for Magic cards. And the commons would be worth so much, and the uncommon so much, and the rare so much. And they would just play poker, and instead of chips, it would be the Magic cards. I'm sure there's other people that have done that out there. Not saying that I ever did it. I'm just saying I'm sure there's other people out there. Makes me wonder how many people who lost their Black Lotuses, or for those that don't remember, back in the early days of Magic, there was a thing called ante, where you would actually pull a random card and you would play for that. And the winner of that match would get the ante card. That's why your alpha, beta, revised cards have things in there about antes. So anyway, sorry, back to Unglued. So this was the first unset, and I know there was some controversy about Unfinity, whatever they're calling it. That some of those are supposed to be playable cards and not playable cards. They weren't the silver borders. Would love to hear people's comments on that, about what they thought about that. This just happened to be, I know I've got a bunch of sets out there for some older sets. In fact, I was with my son, one of my older sons, the other day, and we went to one of my storage sheds that I have. Not a Rudy type storage shed, but a storage shed where I pulled up the storage shed and I said, "You see all these totes?" I said, "These are all Magic cards." And I pulled out a particular cannot talk today. A particular tote. Opened it up and I said, "Okay, here's my unsets. Sealed boxes, the cards, the full sets, the play sets, the whole thing." And you should have seen his eyes wide up. I was actually trying to find the tote that had the original Commander decks when Commander was a thing, those first official Commanders. But there was just so much stuff in there. I told him that we'll have to go back another time. One of those things where I'm just curious out there for the other parents. Yeah, I'm an old fart. I'm curious that when your kids start playing TCGs and they graduate to that Magic, Flesh and Blood, other type of the more, quote, adult games. Not that Magic's an adult game. That's probably not the right wording for it. But those games that we played, right? It's kind of one of those things where, how do you feel as a parent? Did you start playing with them as a young age? They come to it on their own. It's kind of like D&D. I'm a huge D&D nerd, but I never pushed my kids to play D&D, but a lot of them have played. In fact, one of my kids does D&D, but with Pokemon, which I thought was really cool. But let's go ahead and go back to these. So I love the Elvish Impersonator. So these cards, this is my set binder. So these cards just got opened up, put into a binder, then probably got put into another binder, then got put into this binder. But I like to think that I think these are from 1998. These are some pretty good shape. I love the lands on this. So these are lands where I've got a whole box, one of those little cardboard boxes. I've got hundreds and hundreds of these lands. I love these lands. Go ahead and try some more of this old-fashioned. Again, this is the old-fashioned High West whiskey barrel finish cocktail. Really enjoy this. Let's go ahead and flip again. They also had some really cool token cards in there. So if you read these, the unset was a lot of fun to play. It was a lot of fun to draft. I remember doing a couple of pre-releases. Oh, we had so much fun. That was back in the day when Wizards of the Coast took the pre-releases seriously. Had a lot of fun with them. I remember some good memories. I remember, in fact, we had a group of friends. I'm trying to remember this was. I want to say it was the Urza Saga. So whenever the Urza block was out, we went to Reno to do a tournament. And it wasn't Type 2, Type 1. I don't remember the block, but I just remember that I want to say that I had a deck that used Avalanche Riders and the Abilicus Cord. So Avalanche Riders was a creature when it came out, it destroyed a target land. Then Umbilicus Cord or Umbilicus something, it was an artifact where during your upkeep you got to bring a target, one of your permanents, back to your hand. So the idea was you get that Avalanche Riders out, it destroys the target land, but once you have that Umbilicus out, every time it's your upkeep, you pick up that card and you replay it. So basically, once you got that out, you were just destroying their lands back and forth. And that was back in the days when land destruction was a true type. And, you know, you either loved it or hate it, but some people love to play the land destruction decks. Let's go ahead. And I'm trying to see if, and again, the island, these lands on this was so awesome. This is a play off of the Jester Sombrero is a play off of Ice Age Jester's Cap. And this set was so fun to play. Mountains. And again, the tokens. So I would love to hear people's experience with the unsets. What is your favorite unset? Do you have a particular set that you like the most? Do you have a drafting experience one? Which lands do you like the most? Which tokens do you like the most? How many of you have boxes still of these various unsets? I always made a point of, like I was showing my son, I was looking for, I think I was trying to find my beta tote. And I was, no, it was the commander tote. I was trying to find the commander tote, and I came across some of the beta cards, and I was telling him that, you know, just some of the fun that we had, and I was so excited to find out that he developed an interest in Magic on his own with his friends, playing Commander. And then, so, here's the zombie token, and then I just had some extra lands in here to throw those in there. Some just extra cards. But, so I would like to see what this particular unset. What's your favorite unset? Which cards do you like? And then what did you do with these? Did you collect the lands? Did you collect the tokens? What are your fondest memories of going to a particular pre-release? How much fun have you had? Again, going back to talking about the kids. You know, when your kids started to get developing interest in Magic, you know, was that something that you kind of threw at them? Did they develop on their own? What other nerd type stuff did they enjoy? Go ahead and flip this back, and we'll take another sip. And on this particular set, was there any particular cards that you enjoyed the most? You know, how many of us love trying to play the BFM? I do appreciate everybody taking the time to listen to these videos. I'm still testing out this new microphone. I do want to thank everybody again and just ask everybody to like, subscribe, share. I'm slowly trying to build out this channel. I know it's not the best quality. Again, it's one of those things where right now I just turn on the camera and ramble and talk. I should just live stream every single one of these. But it was one of those things where when I originally started this channel, I had a surgery and I wasn't able to walk for a short time, and I just got bored, and I woke up and said, hey, I'm going to make a website, going to do YouTube, what do I like? And it was, well, I like whiskey, I like games, and I'm a nerd and like nerd stuff. So let's go ahead and talk about everything. And I did that. And my thought was, for the first 50 to 100 videos, I will just get up and talk and ramble and see how it goes. People either like it or they don't like it. And, you know, I've always taught my kids, you know, growing up, never be ashamed of who you are and what you like. And if people don't like it, too bad. You know, and this is just some of the things I like. And you probably hear one of my kids jumping up and down playing Roblox right now. In fact, there he goes. So I don't know if the camera picked that up or not. But, again, I would like everybody, you know, again, I would really like to... thank you, everybody, for watching this. Please like and subscribe and share this. I would love to try and get to 100 subscribers if I could. The other thing I would like to know is what sets would you like to see? So I know without a doubt I've got from revised on full sets of everything. I do have a sampling of Alpha, Beta, Unlimited, the Four Horsemen, basically, and some other stuff. Stopped collecting for a while, but I was pretty good about collecting all this stuff and keeping it. I would do a binder like this, or a binders, where it would be the complete set, and then I would do a play set binder, and then I would do my my trading binder and all that. Also would do all kinds of other card games. In fact, what I'm trying to do is I've got a plethora of a game called, for some of those that you might remember, there's a game called Age of Empires. It was an awesome computer game where they came out with a TCG Age of Empires, and I love that game. We had so much fun. It's a time-consuming game. There was some mechanic issues, but oh man, it was so fun. So if I can find that tote that has those games, I've got probably 100 sealed boxes of the different tribes and whatnot. But we had so much fun with that. I remember one time we played, and it's like one of those classic games of Risk that can take forever. That's what playing Age of Empires, the TCG, was. We had so much fun, so I'm going to try and pull those out. I do have several totes of, quote, dead TCGs, so if anybody wants to see any of those really old stuff, I'll try and get those out. Once again, thank you so much, and until next time, cheers.